Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting of the East Troy School District Board of Education and all other meetings of the board are open to the public in compliance with state statute. Notice of the meeting has been sent to the media and/or has been publicly posted in an attempt to make the citizens of the district aware of this time, place, and agenda of this meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as posted.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the agenda?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Public participation, we have no one here tonight, so we'll move on to the discussion action items. First one is a motion to rescind the 3 resolutions adopted 2 weeks ago, so we can make new resolutions tonight.
I will move to rescind the following 3 resolutions adopted on December 14th, 2020, in order to allow for the official newspaper of the district to publish the notice to electors with respect to the initial resolution within 10 days of the meeting date. The resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limits for 5 years for non-recurring purposes. The initial resolution authorizing general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $8 million. And the resolution providing for a referendum election on the questions of the approval of a resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limits for 5 years for non-recurring purposes, and an initial resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $8 million.
I'll second that motion.
Hey, discussion.
So I can explain what this is. I know that the board members know what it is because we had to call this special meeting and explain to you what happened. But just for the public or anybody listening on YouTube, my responsibility, I take ownership of this mistake. Friday, I went to submit the notices that are required from Monday night's meeting. A notice is required to go to the papers, and I know that there's a noon Monday deadline always to submit the legals into the paper. So Friday, as I'm sitting down to do this, I'm rereading bond counsel's notes, and the very first notice, which is for the bond portion of our questions, not just the operational referendum, but the bond portion has a special notice, and it has to be published in the paper within 10 days of the meeting. So when you count out 10 days, that would take us to December 24th. And the newspaper, and I know this from the fall because of the annual meeting, and there weren't these 10 days timelines. We were still okay with the annual meeting and where we did the notices, but when the annual meeting notices had to go in the paper in the fall, I found out that they publish on Fridays now, not Wednesdays. So Friday's paper is December 25th. That would be 11 days after we approved the resolution. And again, by statute, the bond resolution, in particular the question regarding the bond portion of the referendum, has this 10-day maximum window by statute that you have to publish it in the paper from the date. So spoke with bond counsel, and we talked about, well, should we just do it in the regular January board meeting? But we had talked before, we wanted to make this our 2020 referendum questions. So therefore we wanted to call a special board meeting, and basically any other day of the week works except Mondays to get to the 10-day statutory deadline. So again, we're having like the meeting tonight to reapprove, to rescind the previous, reapprove the motions we made, and then we have until January 2nd to get it in the paper. And I already have the schedule send ready to go with the exhibits that will meet the, again, Monday noon deadline for the newspaper to publish it in their Friday, January 1st edition, which is going out to, it'll be delivered January 2nd, but the January 1st date is the official publication date. So we're well within the 10 days for that time frame. So my apologies. Just for the record, Tracy also called this week from the newspaper, and she apologizes, even though again it wasn't anything she did. But she did explain that the date of publication got moved from Wednesday to Friday because of COVID, and they were finding that the turnaround time to get the newspapers to the post office with deliveries was too tight with COVID going on. They didn't have enough delivery drivers, so they extended their publication date by 2 days right now. So what this means, I also talked to Bond Council and History Times, and I said, are there any other papers? Because there may be other times that we have like a 10-day, and when we have Monday night board meetings, we've already missed the Monday deadline to get it in the paper. And Bond Council said right now all she can think of is that it's the bond portion. If we ever do a bond referendum again, that one has a 10-day deadline. She couldn't think of anything else. So those, if we're ever approving one again, we'd have to do like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, if the paper continues with a Friday delivery date, which that may change back to Wednesday sometime in the future. So I feel like I babbled, but does that explain everything?
Perfectly.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor of approval of rescinding the motions, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I will make a motion
Questions of the approval of a resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limits for 5 years for non-recurring purposes, and an initial resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $8 million.
I'll second.
Discussion on that motion. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.